Libra, welcome to your mid-June 2017 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So, before I begin, I've been saying this in front of all the readings. Please look at this in a very overall type of way. Don't get hung up too much on the timing or the details, because I do get people and they want it to kind of totally correspond to their lives, and it just can't. You know, it's just not that type of thing. It's better, I think, to focus on the themes. What is happening? Does it resonate with what's happening in your life? And what can you learn from whatever it is that you're going through, rather than, okay, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Exactly what it said. Because I don't want to do these for that purpose. I want to do them as kind of, I was going to say something very cheesy, like a teachable moment. But really just as, you know, looking at things as lessons, life lessons, and what are my choices and my power in the situation. What can I do? Not what can I expect from others or what can I expect from the universe, but what can I do? Very proactive, you know, so just clearing that up. And this is going to be a general focus. I've also been saying that I get this, I get situations with people asking me to show myself shuffling the cards, and I have been saying to other signs, I can't shuffle. So it's kind of embarrassing for me to go in front and go like this, when other people can go like, you know, do that thing where they, you know, the real type of shuffling. And I'm being facetious by saying it's embarrassing, but I feel comfortable doing it my way, and I do tend to make little piles and then pick from the piles. It's like worrying too much about the outer instead of the inner, which is what the messages are. To see if I'm kosher or not, you know, it's just, that's not what this is about. Okay. All right, let me just look at this for 1 second. Well, one thing that I think is obvious synchronicity, at least for me, from my astrology standpoint, the Wheel of Fortune. Because the Wheel of Fortune, as the overall theme, this connects to the planet Jupiter. And as I record this on June 6th, it's right before Jupiter turns direct on June 9th. And the same day there's a full moon in Sagittarius, which happens, by the way, to be your 11th house. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not your 11th house, your 3rd house. But even with the 3rd house, there could be issues surrounding people that you're talking to and finding out things about people, maybe even online. But with that Jupiter turning direct, there could be this this turning point, and maybe towards the end of the month you're seeing this as Jupiter gains strength. It's going to take a while for Jupiter to gain strength, but because Jupiter is in Libra until October, the sign of Libra, you may have felt in some area of your life, or maybe just in general, that you've been in limbo since it turned direct in February. Retrograde. So whatever was going on for you back then that may have slowed down, this is the time when you will probably likely see that you feel a sense of momentum or forward movement, okay? So that might just be a general timing issue. The Wheel of Fortune speaks of being aligned and having that general sense of everything falling into place. It's a good card, you know, suffice it to say. In the past, we have the Knight of Swords. For some people, this could be legal issues. Perhaps you have consulted a lawyer. For some of you, this may be an aspect of yourself, being a swords, an air sign. The other air signs are Gemini and Aquarius, so if they fit into your life, or they have in the past. But this could be, for some people, that you have left a situation, a marriage, and maybe the decree is coming in, you know, and that makes you feel like you're on the right track. But it could be simply consulting a lawyer, or dealing with somebody who is very outspoken and very, you know, blunt in their speech. And who this person is, it could be anything. It could be a coworker. It could be a person you were dating. But how you are at this time is represented by the Page of Cups. So this is a card that I think is, you know, there's a fish there, but I think it's specifically connected to Pisces. So my feeling is that for some of you, if you were dealing with someone who was, as I described, you may be feeling like a little bit, I don't know, that you don't have like a babe in the woods, so to speak, in some way. And perhaps this person has that effect on you. Maybe you're not seeing things as you should. You may be dealing with somebody who's very good at manipulating with their words. They might even do it for a living, like I said, if they're a lawyer. But this kind of situation can lead you to kind of lie to yourself and not see things for what they really are. It could just be that you are in a place, maybe you are someone who really is in love, and I'm thinking it's a Gemini because the outcome is the Lover's card, and that is associated with Gemini. If this person is somebody who you think is a good match for you, you may simply be feeling very, I was going to say like a child, where you are not, your defenses are down, and you're not trying to put up a wall because you really feel like you've met the perfect person. Sometimes I even think of the Knight of Swords, even though it's not connected to fire energy, to be like a Sagittarius. I mean, well, I was going to actually say Aries, which is your opposite sign. So that's kind of like a blunt person, somebody who's very active, and they are not sedentary, to say the least. They're just very much out there. They maybe kind of have a crusading type of personality where they're always trying to save the world and things like that. And you could be very innocent, as shown by the Page of Cups, in your attitude towards this person. You may feel like this is the first person in a long time that has made you feel like you're a new person. You know, the pages can represent messages, but they can also represent newness of a relationship too. So this could just indicate the beginning of a new relationship. But there's an innocence about it. And maybe you feel very creative because of this person. Again, maybe it's not in a romantic connection. Maybe this is a person who has come to your place of employment, and you're working together on a project or something like that. It could be, you know, different scenarios. The higher message is the Hermit card. This would suggest that if you've been very social, which Librans tend to do, that you take more time to spend time alone. And for Libra, this is very important. And I don't know how many of you do this. I did get somebody who said, I'm a Libra person who loves to be alone. So I must have said that before. I know I've said that before. And somebody reacted to that and said, no, I'm not like that. So yeah, of course, there are some of you out there who enjoy being alone, but a lot of you do not. A lot of you like to circulate among other people, and you like to bounce ideas off of people. You're not necessarily someone who just wants to be like the hermit and look within. And that's very important at this time, especially if there are multiple things going on. Because with the Wheel of Fortune, unless it's speaking of you finally finding someone that you really feel compatible with on a romantic level, then it could be talking about career matters going really well for you. And so while that's happening, your private life may be kind of in a state of flux, and you may be feeling like you need to make a decision about something, or that you are confused about something, and yet your first tendency is probably to call somebody on the phone and ask them their opinion of your life. And that's where things can get murky, because most people love to give their opinions, but they're not living your life. So it really isn't valid. And that's the one thing I would like to impress upon Libras, to stop asking other people their opinion on various things. Like, what you're wearing or stuff like that. I mean, I'm just thinking about this situation where a Libran person asked me my opinion on something, and I gave him my opinion, and my partner gave him an opinion on the same topic, and he preferred my partner's opinion to mine because he felt like his opinion probably jibed with what he wanted to do anyway, so he went with his opinion. So you see, Librans tend to, everyone, when they ask their opinion, they're really not so open-ended. They really want confirmation. It's a form of insecurity. So stop putting your power in other people's approval is basically what it boils down to. And if you're with somebody and you're not sure about if you should be with them, if they're the right person, go within. Don't go without. We should never go without, right? What crosses you is exactly what I was just saying, because whenever you get the number 2, it can be about having to make a decision. But in the challenge position, it's like not being able to. Maybe prolonging the inevitable. But with the 2 of Pentacles, it can be a situation of work where you're stretched thin, because you might be balancing. You might be doing a balancing act. Maybe you have more than one job. Maybe you are trying to be in a new relationship, but your work is really demanding things of you. As a challenge card, I think in general, it would be asking you to look at all areas of your life and see if they're in balance. Libra is all about balance. And a lot of people have a hard time with that because they just are from the default position. Oh yeah, I have to work 60 hours a week. It's like, yeah, you do? You really have to work 60 hours a week? Well, yeah, I mean, in my company. In other words, they're just going by what somebody else is telling them instead of what they need in their life. If you're working 60 hours a week, it's very hard to have anything else other than that. And, if you're doing what you really love to do, that's awesome. But if you're doing something just because you have to do it to keep that job, then you might want to go within and see if that's something that you want to do, because you can't do everything well. If you're working long hours, you can't expect to have quality time to be able to find your soulmate. You just don't have the hours in the day to do it, and you don't have the time it takes to nourish the relationship, even if you found that perfect person. What the advice, or what is coming up in the near future, is the 7 of Cups. This can be a card of confusion. I think it's kind of saying that you have a lot of options. Jupiter in your sign means that you have expanded opportunities in many, just in general in your life. But it can be confusing when there are so many, and some look very tempting, but may not be what they're cracked up to be, including people. You may be in some kind of a situation where you just happen to have a lot of opportunities to date and to meet people, but are they people that you would really want to settle down with is the question. It's an important question. It's not a frivolous question. So it's something that needs to be asked, and you need to respect what it means to you. Because you may feel like, I just want to be in a relationship and that's all that matters. And it's not all that matters. In addition to being in a relationship, you want to have compatibility. You want to find that person who comes the closest to your soulmate, who really you resonate with on multiple levels. And that only comes through taking the time to get to know someone. And the outcome is the Lover's card. Now, if this is a work situation, you may go into a partnership. And this may have been what this is about too, where you're kind of weighing the option. You're not sure, maybe, because I'm thinking like for some of you, the Knight of Swords could be a person that is a partner. Some of you may be lawyers yourselves, or you may be in the legal profession. A lot of Librans seem to gravitate towards the legal profession. And this is a card connected to Gemini, as I said, but it's also the card of needing to make a choice. It's a card of intimacy. So any of these things can apply, you know, just that general thing. If you've met somebody new, or you are going to meet somebody new, you may have this very deep connection with that person. And if you join forces with somebody professionally, it's like you're two peas in a pod. You really complement one another. And it's not just a relationship of two people working together. There's a deep bond. So it's very interesting, this reading. And the anchor of it is the Wheel of Fortune, because that is showing that forward movement of Jupiter and your life getting more back up to speed, on track, if it felt like it was kind of lagging in the past. Okay, Libra. So I look forward to doing more readings for you this month and next month as well. I wish you all the best, and if you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, take care of yourselves. Bye.